So next is condition, adverb clause of condition. If condition normally starts with if, unless you do this, lest you should fail, provided that, right? So it talks about a possible or counterfactual situation and its consequences. So if they lose weight during an illness, they soon regain it afterwards, right? Next is purpose. In order to do this, so that one shall reach Delhi, in order that it must happen, in case, right? So these are all the examples of purpose. It indicate the purpose of an action, the reason for the happening. They had to take some of his land so that they could extend the churchyard. Okay, reason, because, since, as given. So it indicates the reason for something. I could not feel anger against him because I liked him too much. So there is a reason given along with. Concession. Now concession. Although, though, while. Make two statements, one of which contrast with the other or makes it seem surprising. I used to read a lot, though I do not have much time for the books now. That was an example. So, place. How can we do it? How can we do it with a place? Please understand, we are using the type clause first, type of clause, then we are using common conjunctions under that clause, then we are making it into a function, and then the example of it. So, place. Concession, sorry. Although, though, while, right? So make two statements, one of which contrast with the other or makes it seem surprising. I used to read a lot, though I do not have much time for the books. Place. Answering the question where. Now this in itself is a question. Then where, wherever, right? So this is place, anywhere, anywhere, etc. So it talks about the location or position of something. He said he was happy where he was. Comparisons. So as, than, as, right? So these are the comparisons that we make. As का as के साथ, as than भी comparisons होते हैं. State comparison of a skill, size or the amount. Now John can speak fluently English as fluently as his teacher. She's a better cook than I. Next is manner, adverb of manner, answering the question how, as, like. So talk about someone's behavior or the way something is done. I was never allowed to do things as I wanted to do. He spent a lot of money as he was very rich. Results, so that, such that. It indicates the results of an act or event. My suitcase had become so damaged that the lid would not stay closed. So my suitcase had become so damaged that the lid would not stay closed. So these are all the adverbial clauses, right? So we use different kinds of adverbs. Next is a noun clause. Noun means a name. So a noun clause is a dependent clause that acts as a noun. Noun clauses begins with words. कौन से? How, that, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whomever, and why. So noun clauses can act as subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, predicate nominatives, or objects of a preposition. So noun clause के parts कौन कौन से होते हैं? Because a noun clause is a clause, you should be able to find both a subject and a verb in a clause. Let's do a review of these two important terms. The noun clauses are underlined. Subject. Subject क्या होता है? Is what the clause or sentence is all about. The subject is often, but not always, the thing performing the action of the verb. So subject वो है जो sentence है हमारा, जिसके बारे में sentence बात कर रहा है. So subject is often the thing performing the action of the verb. So for example, what Peter loves most about reading mysteries is how the authors leave clues for careful readers. So in this example, the first clause is about Peter and the second clause is about the authors. Whoever spilled the milk should clean it up. So whoever. The sentence is about whoever. Okay? What is a verb then? A verb is an action word or a state of being word. For example, morning time is when I feel most energetic. In this example, feel is the action word in the sentence. You may take whichever cookie you want. So, may take and want. They are the action words. So, what are the different types of noun clauses? Noun clauses as subjects. Whoever leaves last should turn off the lights. So, जो भी last में आएगा. Whoever leaves last is also the person performing the action of turning off the lights. So, whoever यहाँ बंदे के बारे में बात हो रही है, जो भी last में आएगा वो lights off करके आएगा. Therefore, the noun clause is the subject of the sentence. That people need water to survive should be obvious to everyone. Here, the sentence is about the fact that people need water to survive, and so that noun clause works as the subject. In music, which note is played and how long it is played are both essential. So, इस example में दो चीजें हैं, which note and how long, right? So, ये दोनों noun clauses हैं, subject of the sentence. Object के केस में क्या होता है? Objects वो words हैं which receive another part of the sentence. So तीन तरह के होते हैं, direct, indirect and prepositions. So direct objects, they receive the action of the verb. Indirect objects receive direct objects. Objects of prepositions, so they receive prepositions. वो prepositions को receive करते हैं. So example 1, my dog will eat whatever food I give him. Here the noun clause receives the action of the verb eat. So it is a direct object. ये आंसर करता है क्वेश्चन को कि क्या खाना है, eat what. The judges will award whichever painting they like the most, the blue ribbon. So whichever, blue ribbon के लिए. So it is the direct object because it is receiving the verb award. Whoever is a good sport. कोई भी अच्छा है जो इनमें से, whoever is a good sport. So noun clause is receiving the preposition with. Compliments की तरह हम कैसे यूज करते हैं noun clauses को? A compliment restates or gives some information about a noun. It always follows a state of being verb. Is, are, am, will be, was, here, were. So what is an example? For example, if we say the winner will be whoever gets the most votes. So information किसके बारे में है यहाँ? Winner, noun clause. My hope is that everyone here become friends. The noun clause is complimenting whom? Hope. So noun clauses को हम लिखते कैसे हैं? Noun clauses always begins with certain words: who, what, why, where, when. We can also begin the noun clauses with pronouns: which, that, whoever, whatever, wherever, whenever. Right? So it is essential to understand that just because you see one of these words does not mean that the world is beginning with a noun clause. When identifying the type of a given clause, we need to be careful that you look at its function, not just the words. So a clause beginning with the same words as a non-clause may have a different function, right? This is important to understand. Where I come from is not important. The town where I come from is famous for its pizza. So we have a noun clause. A में the function of clause is to name the subject of the sentence. लेकिन B में we have an adjective clause. Where I come from is famous for its pizza. So adjective clause, right? So the pair of examples shows how the function of a clause determines what type of clause it is. I know who the man is interviewing. Where the man works is down the street. My cousin, who the man is interviewing, is applying for a job where the man works. So, in this pair of examples, we have two clauses to look at. In example A, we have a noun clause functioning as a direct object and a noun clause that is a subject. The first clause is an adjective clause modifying cousin, and the second clause is an adverb clause modifying applying. So it is important when writing noun clauses that you not only pay attention to the words in the clause, but also to the clause functions. So noun clauses are dependent subordinate clauses. They cannot be sentence of its own, and a noun clause will always need to be in a sentence with an independent clause. A sentence with an independent clause is an incomplete sentence and a sentence fragment, right? So these are different kinds of noun clauses. We have talked about all the different kinds of clauses, the principal, coordinate, and subordinate clause. Then the subordinate clause in itself is further subdivided into adjective, adverb, and noun clauses.